You should be writing.
And November is the perfect month to be doing that. Welcome to
Positively Literary.
And today we will be talking about Nanowrimo, which is National Novel Writing Month.
Yes. What she said.
And we love to drink tea when we're writing.
Tea is the key.
So I got this little gift set. So we're going to pick, see there's a bunch of different teas. We're going to pick a tea, and we've got our hot water right here. So let me see. Look at this, white orange spice.
Ooh.
So when it says afternoon tea, I'm like, what does that mean? I'm going to just try afternoon tea.
I'm going to try maybe the white orange spice.
Yeah? Okay.
Look at this. Let's see what this is. Oh, it's a little tea bag. I can smell it through the plastic.
Is it suspicious that mine didn't have plastic?
Maybe you should open a different one. Ah, are you okay?
Take two. Okay, no, I thought I dropped it in my... Again, no plastic. Again!
What
Why
the
was
heck?
yours plastic?
Mine was
Hold on.
the only one with plastic.
You know why? Maybe to keep it fresh. Now I've opened a ton of boxes. Okay, I'm going to try the mystery one because it doesn't say what it is, just that it's afternoon.
A mystery. Interesting.
We do not need sugar.
No. How's it taste?
It tastes like nothing.
Okay. I'm not tasting the orange.
And I'm not tasting the afternoon. While our teas sit here to get a little bit more flavorful, we are going to talk about Charles James and his novels. I think this is book 2.
I have book 1. It's at my house.
I read book 1 and I got book 2, and I got book 2 signed. Okay, 1 second. See? And what it says is, to Bianca, hold it together, Charles James. And it's not because I can't hold my life together and I'm all over the place. I mean, it could be. But it's kind of like Cassie. She's a commander and she has to really hold it together being a commander.
That's a good catchphrase.
Yeah, it's really good because just a lot of crazy stuff happened. I think it even says in the back, they crash onto this alien planet, whatever. And then they just have a lot of crazy stuff to deal with the local kind of monsters and stuff. So Charles James, his first book is
First Command,
and this is Fractured Command. I think he has the third book coming out, doesn't he? Or he's working on it.
He's working on the third book.
What we asked Charlie is, what is NaNoWriMo? Would you encourage writers to give it a try? And do you have any tips to those who are new to NaNoWriMo?
Let's hear from Charlie.
Hi, Positively Literary. I'm author Charles James, here with a bunch of tips on how to enhance the productivity in your writing. Specifically, we'll be looking at how to reach 50,000 words in only 30 days, a goal that's commonly associated with National Novel Writing Month, but really can be applied anywhere, anytime for people who want to be more productive with their writing. So my first tip is what I like to call write 100 words first. So that means as soon as you sit down, you open up your word processor before you do anything else, before you check your email or go online, check social media accounts, you make a contract with yourself to write 100 words on your work in progress first. It's a small step, something that is relatively achievable in only a few minutes. But what it does is it allows you to sit down and get those creative juices flowing and kind of get over that action potential of sitting down. Anyone can write 100 words and it doesn't take that much time. And if that's all you get down, that's all you need to do. But the point is to get down and start doing it. Tip number 2 is all about setting a time budget for yourself. So in order to reach 50,000 words in 30 days, you need to write on average 1,667 words every day. So one of the exercises I like to do in this respect is to sit down before November even starts and figure out how long approximately it takes you on average to write 1,667 words. For me, that's about 2 hours. And then what you need to do is figure out how you can fit that time into your day for that month. So for example, you can get up early, write for an hour, maybe you can fit a half an hour in at lunch, and then you've got maybe another half an hour to make up in the evening when you get home from work. Once you set a budget like this, then it becomes easy to work in the time that you need to get that writing done. My third tip is to tell people about your goal. Generally, your friends and family and people who are supportive of what you're doing are going to be enthusiastic about helping you to reach your goal. And so if they know that you're trying something big, like writing 50,000 words in 30 days, they'll be more than happy to give you the time and the space that you need to sit down and carve out that time to get those words in. The fourth tip is all about getting involved. National Novel Writing Month will have local groups that get together for November, and they'll do things like host write-ins or online events. Surrounding yourself with people who have similar goals will help you to focus on your writing and get words down on the page. If you don't have a local nano group to get involved with, you can always join a local writers group or simply try to find a few other writing friends, get together with them, and do things like word sprints where you set a timer for, say, 20 minutes and everyone writes as much as they can in those 20 minutes, focusing on that alone, and then you can take a break and talk and laugh and have fun. But it's really all about getting involved. Tip 5 is quantity over quality. Remember, what you're doing with an activity like this is all about generating a first draft. A first draft is never perfect. So what you want to do is get the ideas out. So you try to lock up your inner editor or any urge to go back and revise stuff that you've written, and simply focus on getting the ideas on the page. It doesn't have to be correct, it doesn't have to be good, but what it does need to be is down on the page. Tip number 6 is all about having a plan. Now, there are different types of writers out there. Some are plotters and they will have a detailed plan, and this really isn't for them because they're going to have a large document that will tell them exactly what to write, when to write it, where everything occurs. And those type of writers tend to be very successful in activities like this. However, if you're a pantser and tend to make things up as you go along, sometimes you can run into challenges while you're doing this. Often, what I find can help in situations like this is you don't need a detailed plan, but come up with 3 elements. You need an interesting character, a challenging problem, and have some sort of an idea of what the resolution is going to be. When you get stuck in your writing, going back to those 3 elements and thinking about how each of those relates to the story can help you move that plot or that story along and keep getting words on the page. My last tip is take care of yourself. Writing 50,000 words in 30 days is really a lot like running a marathon. So it's important that you make sure that you get good sleep, that you get adequate exercise, that you're eating properly, that you get in some constructive downtime and socialization, and that you keep all of these elements of your life in balance. What you'll find is that when things are balanced this way, you're able to focus when you sit down to write, and you can be more creative and generally be more productive when you do have that focused writing time. So, in summary, remember, write 100 words first, set a time budget for yourself, tell people about your goals, get involved. Remember quantity over quality. Have a plan, and finally, take care of yourself. With these tips, hopefully this will help you to reach that 50,000 word goal in only 30 days, or generally just be more productive as a writer. Remember, I'm author Charles James. I can be reached at charlesjamessfauthor.com. Thank you so much, Positively Literary, and good luck with your writing.
Welcome back, and thank you, Charles James, for that entertaining and really cool video.
It was awesome.
So we're talking about Nanowrimo, and I do have, so my shirt says, winner, Nanowrimo 2016. I've actually, and you've got a shirt too. Nanowrimo.
Yep.
So in 2016, I got this one, it says winner. So you're a winner if you get through the 50,000 words, like you write 50,000 words that month, which is the length of a novel, let's say. You know,
So what's your experience with that?
Okay, my experience, so in 2016 I was a winner, so that means I completed the 50,000 words, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know how many years, I did it for many years, at least 3 or 4 times when I actually did the 50,000 words. And you can go online, you sign up for the website, and you put your words in every day. It's super challenging, right, as you can imagine, but I have done it. I didn't do it last year because I was working on my novel that I'm working on now, which, you know what, I'll tell you guys about it. I was really excited about it, and still am. I've been writing it since 2019.
Wow.
I actually completed the novel, but then did a rewrite, did another rewrite.
I know the feeling.
And it's a K-pop dystopian. I'm just really excited about it because...
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Right? And my daughter likes K-pop, and I know that... I know that it has an audience. So it's not like the K-dramas, it's like the music. The
Okay.
K-pop music and the band members. But it's a dystopian. So it takes place in the future where it's after World War III.
Oh, wow.
And there's a population crisis because the population got wiped out, especially in the West. Pretty much wiped out. A lot of the cities got wiped out. A lot of things got wiped out. It's called Arranged Marriage to a K-pop Idol. So that's the title. And I was working really hard on it last year, and I could have maybe made it part of NaNoWriMo, but I didn't feel like I should because it wouldn't be me creating something new. It would just be me editing, sort of.
Right.
So even if I edited through and I had these 2,000 words, it's not like I wrote them. So I am excited about the novel, but it kind of came to a standstill after my developmental editor. We talked about the hero's journey and all those kind of things that you want to do in your novel, and I felt like I didn't have all those segments. And there were some really major rewrites anyway. But this year, I'm thinking about it.
All about doing it.
Kind of. So I'm going to tell you this idea I had, and you tell me if you think I should write it. Because what we do for NaNoWriMo is we write an idea. It doesn't have to be your best work ever. You just get the words down, and it just gets you writing, right? This one, I've never written a psychological thriller, but I do like watching them sometimes, and I really like psychological political dramas. So this wouldn't be a political one, but it's kind of, I'd have to be a little bit vulnerable to talk about it, because basically it's this lady who, she gets a divorce, and then her ex-husband and her have to take care of, her daughter goes 1 week with her, 1 week with the husband, and he'll reply to text messages, but she never sees him. Maybe she'll drop off the daughter and then leave, at his place, but then she never actually saw him, which at first is she doesn't want to see him because she feels like it hurts too much. But then eventually it turns into a psychological thriller because she starts to think that he's no longer alive. No matter what she does, she can't see him. So she'll try to go to the school when he's supposed to pick up their daughter, and then
she can't see him.
She just misses him at the last second. There's a distraction. She looks, and then the daughter's not there, and then she's and she kind of slowly starts to go crazy because she thinks that he's not real. Not that he's not real.
I remember you telling me.
Yeah. Sorry, she thinks that he died, and whoever's texting her is not really him, and she just slowly starts to go crazy. So that would be a challenging thing to write, but I thought about writing it because I'm a pantser, as they call it. which is an author who just writes. You just start writing, and then you just go and see where the story leads you. And then there's plotters, which is writers who really like to plot it all out, and then they write it. So I actually, oddly enough, have never asked you this, and I need to know, are you a pantser or a plotter?
I'm kind of both.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need to do both.
You need some structure?
Well, I need it somewhat mapped out.
Okay.
I can't just go by feeling fully. I need it as long as I have an idea on the main core scenes,
Oh, yeah.
and then the characters take over the rest.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I wouldn't be able to, even if I was plotting, I can't imagine plotting out, like, actual dialogue.
We'll have to do an episode about that, about the
Oh, yeah.
answer.
And plotter. Because it just comes, you know, the characters, they just start talking, and sometimes they surprise you, like what they do or what they say.
Exactly.
So, but I do see what you mean about having like a general idea,
A map.
kind of a map. So, and I wanted to ask you about Nanowrimo, because you said you'd never done it before, and then you also told me something very interesting as to why you haven't done it before.
So yeah, I'm a writer too. And basically, the reason I haven't participated in Nanowrimo. Oh my gosh.
I know, it's like a mouthful.
Nanowrimo. Nanowrimo. The reason I haven't participated was because it's just really unrealistic for me, because like I'm dyslexic. I have severe dyslexia. For those who don't know what that is, it's a reading and writing impairment. So I take twice or 3 times longer than a normal writer to write. And it's unrealistic for me to do that. I just get very frustrated and discouraged. So that's why I've never participated in
Nanowrimo. But you know what?
Nanowrimo.
I think that it's super challenging even for anyone to do it. So then for you, it would be like,
It's impossible.
yeah. So then,
Unless I do it very sloppy, which I'm not about to do.
yeah. And some people do say that what they do write in NaNoWriMo, it's obviously going to be rewritten, like it's not their best work. So I want to ask you about the book that you wrote. Like, it's a substantial length. So for someone who's dyslexic, how did you write that novel? Like, how did you get through? How long did it take you?
Over 20 years.
Okay.
So I took my time on it. I started writing it when I was 12 years old.
Oh,
So, and I
interesting.
kind of matured with it. So it grew with me. I technically have the story written out for 5 books, but some of them are written in screen format.
Oh, that's so fun.
So I would have to I transfer it into more novel format.
Screenplays, you don't put all the details in. It's more like these action points almost.
Yes.
And so you kind of have it.
Well, like originally, and I don't talk about it very much, I won't say what company it was, but a big company when I was young wanted to take my book and turn it into like a series, but it didn't work out. It didn't end up working out. The deal didn't go through. I was so close. I was 19 at the time.
Oh, you were 19.
Yeah. It didn't go through, sadly. It was close, but like I realized the contract was not very fair, so it didn't go through.
Did it not go through because once you looked at the contract, you were like, I don't know if I'm going to
It felt wrong.
Okay.
There was just a lot of advantage, like on them taking advantage of my story. Basically, they could change things. They could take complete copy rights towards it. And it was just very like leaving me out of the process.
Oh.
So, and I, no offense, but I've seen a lot of movies that have done that. If they left the author out of the process, it turns into a train wreck. So I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So I never went with them at the end.
I know what you mean, because then they will say based on a book by Stephanie Costigan, and then you might feel like I don't even want them to mention my name with what they've done with the book, especially the topic matter, that it's a kind of more sensitive topic matter, I think, with like...
And because it wasn't published into a book at that time,
Oh, they would have just gone crazy
they
with
would have
it.
gone absolutely insane.
They could have done anything. 'Cause,
Exactly.
it's in the time... Well, one part of it, because I just started reading it, in the time of like the time when there was the war and then Germany was kind of taking over, and she lives there. But then it progresses into a fantasy world.
Yeah, into a fantasy world.
It sounds like they wanted to buy the idea.
Yeah, but I didn't want that because I worked so hard on it.
Yeah, so at that time you said it wasn't published, so did you have it mostly written or did you have it kind of plotted?
Like I said, I matured with it, so a lot of things have changed. Since that time, and basically I just wanted it. It's gone through like 5 different editors.
Oh, interesting.
So it's gone through a lot of editors, just because I wanted to make sure it was quality.
I met you at a writing conference.
Yeah, WordBridge.
Yeah, and then I think I just felt like you're very established, like you'd written your book a long time ago or something. I didn't realize how soon, because at that point, what was just like 6 months ago that you published it?
Yeah, like I had been writing my whole life a long time, and then I wrote for the Herald. So I've been writing, so I give off that impression, but really I'm just fresh.
That your first book came out. But it's good to put it through all that process, like to have the editors and, to do the rewrites. And that's where I kind of feel stuck with.
And even now, even going through 5 different editors, there's still errors, like it's hard. It's frustrating because you work so hard.
So, and fine, I'll say this on air to make you feel better because I didn't actually tell you this. So my Christmas novel, it got good reviews, and there's this one lady, which I'll tell you about because she loves it, but someone left a review. There's always got to be someone. She left a review and she's like, this could have used a good edit. Like, I don't know if it was just because
rude.
I know that you feel like if there's any mistakes, especially since
perfectionist.
Perfectionist, and you've been fighting with dyslexia, and you're like, there shouldn't be mistakes. I've got editors, and I feel the same way if people make comments about the editing or like if they find a mistake.
My heart just drops if someone's like, "There's an error here." I'm like, ugh.
But someone, literally, a friend of mine was like, I found a mistake in Harry Potter. So
it's true. Like, I think it's easy to be a critic, but it's hard to be on the other end because you don't know what sweat, blood, and tears that author went through, right?
Even in the first draft. Okay, then I want to say something positive about my books because I do have, you get haters and stuff, but there is an older lady, she's like in her 80s, and she knows my mom, and she read it 3 times, and I just I'm like, oh my goodness. And I guess she went into the hospital for a week for something that they were doing, and she had asked, can you bring me my book, the book, that she wanted to read it while she was in the hospital. And it's just so hearing that makes me wonder if my target audience is not who I think it is. But she really loved it, and she's not picky this and that's, I don't know.
I feel like
spelling error.
They say the worst critics are other authors or people that are, I guess, make a living of editing.
I feel that. So when I read the reviews, I can almost tell if someone's an author and they're just pointing out something because they're not talking about the characters, they're not talking about the story, they're kind of talking about the writing. And then other people are talking about how they felt about the guy character, how they felt about the story.
Exactly.
So
yes, sometimes it's, at the heart of it, it's the story. Yeah, there's always no one's perfect. Just like human beings were never perfect, then, I don't know, a book is never perfect. But with that said, it doesn't mean we don't strive for quality.
I guess when this airs, it'll be November 1st, at least on YouTube, and it'll be the start of Nanowrimo. There is something fun and crazy and community about doing Nanowrimo because you're uploading your daily word count online, so other writer friends can see it, and you can see theirs, and you can see if they're exceeding their word count or if they didn't make their word count. And mine would be I'd be doing my best, and then there'd be Sunday and 0 word count, and then again on Monday. So I'd have to catch up each time, but I have succeeded in it, and it can be fun. I know I have a writer friend who'd never done Nanowrimo for the same kind of reasons, not dyslexia, but just the pressure would make him shut down, kind of. He's
It's the creativity. It's hard to be creative under the pressure.
And it can be. And so that's what he didn't want. But then he finally did it last year, I think. And he just set a different word count. So he said,
Interesting.
he decided, because you can change the counter, to set it to 20,000 instead of 50,000. And he said that it built, like a habit for him.
Yes.
And he also said that when he saw it online and you could see your little chart, that it was kind of encouraging. He thought it would be discouraging to see, because you have a line that shows you where you should be, and then you've got your own. And then since he set his to 20,000, his line was a bit different. And when he exceeded it, it just encouraged him. So I was like, okay, I know there's some people who are anti-NaNoWriMo, and then there are some people who do it every year. You love it and you hate it. You know what I mean?
I think those that struggle like myself, it's a little sad because you want to be in that community and you want to participate, but it's just unrealistic. But I think, like, I don't know, in the future, I don't know if a NaNoWriMo person sees this, maybe make a certain count for those that have disabilities like myself, or like, because then it can be more realistic and more people can participate.
I wonder if there is a community that is dyslexic who try and do NaNoWriMo with a different word count.
You can challenge yourself. You can give it a try. Who knows, it might help your daily writing.
Yeah, I think NaNoWriMo is great for some people and maybe too much pressure for other people. So I do have some fond memories of spending a lot of time in Starbucks writing and trying to get those word counts and stuff like that, and writing with other authors who are also doing NaNoWriMo, and we know the struggle, and there are the funniest memes ever for like these really frazzled cats, and just like NaNoWriMo has begun, and it's like day 15 and you're supposed to be halfway through your manuscript at this point, and it can be really fun. And I don't know, I challenge you guys to do it if you're up for the challenge. So whether you're a pantser or a plotter, we hope you have a successful
and positive
NaNoWriMo month, and that you are a winner for NaNoWriMo.
Thanks for joining us on Positively Literary.
And we're your hosts, Bianca Rowena
and Stephanie Costigan.
And we'll see you next time.
Keep typing.
It was like an attack. It was like Pac-Man almost bit my face.
Upbeat in a positive environment. Is that not right?
Like an upbeat environment.
Backwards.
NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month. Do you think it's okay we called him Charlie? Because he's Charles James. There we go.
First command.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
We're
special effects, and we're like, whoa.
That was intense. NaNoWriMo.
NaNoWriMo.
Yeah.